You are listening to a QLB Media Group podcast.
What he think this is. Hello. This is We Just Talkin Is. This is episode 14. Yours, mine's, ours. What is it? The joys of co-parenting, the highs and lows of co-parenting.
The highs and lows.
The ghetto-ness of co-parenting.
Ghetto-ness of co-parenting.
The ghetto-ness of parenting.
The emotional roller coaster of parenting. All of those things. That is what we're going to do tonight. But first, real quick.
But go ahead.
Am I hosting it or you?
No, I just wanted to take this time to, by the time you guys hear this, you would have already known that there was a mass shooting in Texas. Let's, what?
If I was going to host it, I was going to say that. And, you know, if you weren't on the phone prior to recording, we could have discussed the intro since I'm hosting the show tonight.
My bad, Patricia. You got this new hair going on. I am sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Love language. As last episode, I apologize.
Fuck your apology.
Was the last episode too?
That's how we come at that. I'm just going to just push this up.
So yes, by the time you hear this, we're actually recording this on the night where the unfortunate school shooting happened today in Texas. Our thoughts and prayers are definitely with all of the parents and citizens of that town in Texas. It just shouldn't have happened. It's very unfortunate, and I hate that. I really do. And we are definitely praying for everyone involved. There's a whole other conversation about gun control and how our schools are just wide open security risk. They don't take proper precaution for our children, which is supposed to be our future. Yet the children are always last, which fits kind of the conversation that we're going into tonight. The emotional well-being of our children is neglected, and it's neglected started from the house. And we're going to address a lot of the root of why we end up raising kids that like to shoot schools and different things like that, because it all starts at the house. It all starts at the foundation. But before we get into all of that, I want to check in with y'all really quickly about how y'all have been doing. Miss Rosa, how was your week? Yep, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly what we talking about today. These children got on my goddamn FTK.
Respectfully. Sometimes disrespectfully.
FTK.
Cute. How was your week?
My weekend, it was good. The weekend was gooder, and then it got bad. And then it get back good. Yeah.
So all of us had a week like that, because I got stung by a bee last Monday.
Stung by a bee.
Yeah, and like we recorded the pod that night, and out on the ear, and I thought it was like a mosquito bite Tuesday when it started bothering me, but by Thursday I had a full-on allergic reaction to it. So I was at work, my ear completely swelled up, the side of my face, my neck, my shoulder. I couldn't swallow, so I immediately had to leave work and go to the minor med. I had a severe allergic reaction to a bee that possibly stung me twice in the same spot, and the bee venom or poison was infecting my lymphatic system. So I had to take a steroid shot immediately, antibiotic shot, and I've been on antibiotics for a week. I'm better. It was rough, but there's that. So I made it here to tell the story.
And for those that are not watching, she joined the family, y'all. She's a lock girl. She's a lock queen. Hold on, a lock queen.
I am officially interlocked and still kept my curls.
Oh, so you're going locked?
I am locked.
Oh, so you're doing locks?
They're done.
They're done.
So it's going to stay like that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's going to get better. The
It's
older...
not finna get... They're not finna
No.
like go bigger like a Rastafarian?
Oh, heck no.
No.
So there's different kind of locks?
Yeah,
Yes.
these are interlocks. And the name is different based on the size and the way that they are locked. Because you have palm rolls, you have interlocking, which is what I have. And there are multiple ways to install them. And based on that and the size, they're named different things. So I have interlocks.
Okay. All right. Looks good. I like it.
Thanks. Y'all ready to get into it? No triggers tonight, y'all. Let's keep it cute. Let's not...
We
call
talking
up-
about them kids. It's already triggered.
I know. Let's try to keep it cute. You feel yourself going
They
there.
ain't cute no more.
You feel yourself going there, just refrain, because co-parenting, and we all are co-parenting, all three of us. All our kids are different ages. Our situations where we're co-parenting are not the same, so our conversation within itself is gonna be really good because we're all living it. We're all here.
And we're able to hit on different spots for our audience as well, because everybody can be kind of sort of relate to some part of it.
Absolutely. Like stories, personal stories, and stories of people that you know personally dealt with certain crazy co-parenting things. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. I did what y'all do, because I normally don't. I Googled the definition so we could just have a foundation real quick before I start dropping my patriotisms off in it. I'm gonna do just the Googleized definition first. And it says that co-parenting is sharing the duties of raising a child, usually or especially of parents who are separated or not in a relationship. So you're related to the same kids, but you do not have any dealings.
I don't know that man.
With the other person. Y'all are just related to the same child. That is co-parenting.
And I don't know that man.
Me either.
I ain't had no relations with him.
I wouldn't like I
We
said, my
just share a
kids,
child.
I wasn't even there. Me and old boys just related to the same kids. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
That's all. All right, so that's the definition. Now we finna get into these patriotisms real quick, and then I'm gonna throw out these different scenarios, and we're gonna roll with it, and we're gonna see what happens, like we do every damn week. Q, we ain't gonna go X-rated tonight, are we?
How you gonna go X-rated with the children?
That's what I'm getting ready to say.
Let me see, because I just looked at the notes and a bunch of things just popped up. So let me see.
You can't go X-rated tonight, Q.
Child support, making decision, extracurricular activities. Let's go.
You found this spot. Extracurricular activities for the kids, not the parents.
Okay.
God damn it.
Oh, okay.
Not the ones that got them there.
All right, so I came up with the failed natural order and the failed unnatural order. The failed natural order is when you end up co-parenting because your marriage did not work out, meaning you were married, you had children within the union did not work, you and your significant other, your spouse have broken up, and now your ex-spouse is you're divorced, you're living separately, but you still have these children that you created from the union. It's not easier co-parenting per se with the person that you divorce, because it depends on how messy the divorce gets. However, you tend to do better with the kids, I think, because at one point there was a come and go because you guys were married and you were in the same household. So there are some routines that you kind of share. Of course, that will change when you kind of move on with your life, but it's possible that there's a different type of animosity when you were married to the person and you had children with the union and y'all did live in the house together as a family. And sometimes that can actually be more emotional detrimental to the child when you break up, because they know what it was like having mom and dad in the home. And then now dad lives somewhere else. We've moved out of this house together and mom lives somewhere else. And it's a different situation. And because you remember what it was like when mom and dad together, it could be even more emotionally disturbing for a child who was brought into the world where mom and dad were just boyfriend and girlfriend. They never lived together full time. Or if they did live together full time, they were never married and it's a little different. But the natural order is you get married, you have kids, and you stay together. But when it fails, you break up. And so sometimes I think that's even more emotionally damaging for the children involved because they never have to wonder what it was like for mama and daddy to be together. They saw it. They lived it. That was their life every day. And then all of a sudden, that's not their life anymore. And they got to go and visit another parent in another house. And now they got 2 rooms in 2 different situations. The failed unnatural order, you bring the child in the world with no commitment to this person that you got this child with. So it's like, does the child feel like they were an accident from the jump and it's just like weird and then one parent decides to adjust their life and the other parent doesn't? And then there's a deeper unspoken animosity because you never lived with the mom, so she had to get up every night with that child. And that happens in in married houses too. I didn't have that issue. My ex-husband got up at night with both of our boys. I never had to do the night shift when my boys were small. He always did that. But you have some women who bring this child in. They're not together. They live alone. They're with their mom and they're up every night with this child, and daddy gets to pop in and visit during the day. And when the child is really small, you're not letting the child go to another home. So the child is with you. And so the older the child gets, one parent feels more entitled to the child because they were in the trenches more with it. And so there's another level of animosity with the dad because he's not in the home. He didn't have to get up. She had to do it all night by herself.
That's when we get called part-time daddies.
Hold on, but that's something I actually, even with, I have boys and I have girls. I told my sons, bring a baby in this world and see what happens. For one, we gonna do shifts. She gonna have the baby 1 week. You gonna have the baby 1 week. This way you will feel the having to get up in the middle of the night, the having to do this in the middle of the night. And if that baby's sick during your week, then that baby's sick and you gonna have to sit there. Now I know she's a mother. She gonna want to be there. We can work some things out, but you got to understand, you got to feel it, because otherwise that means you're gonna turn around and bring some more up in here. And this ain't the revolving baby maker over house over here. So thank goodness none of my boys have kids at this moment. But if that were to happen, that's what I feel like should be done. I feel like if more young men had to do that, they quit sticking their little stuff in everything.
Quit making them.
Go on and put it in between the couch cushions and leave it alone.
Yeah, because if you always got the option, I'm going to pop over my baby mama house and hold the baby for 2 hours for her to take a nap, feed it, do one diaper change and head out. It's not the same being there all day, all night. You trying to go to the bathroom, your newborn in the back screaming. She trying to cook dinner. Now you holding the baby and then y'all switch off. It's all night. Y'all rotate, getting up, on and off. It's not like that. So then men who are in that situation where they were never fully there full time because of the dynamic of the relationship, they wonder why that mother feels more entitled to say that this is my child. It's because of that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's an unnatural order, because you should be there in the house together doing all of this together. That's why it was set up like that. Of course, shit happens. People have, one night turned into... But
my situation is that I experienced both the unnatural and the natural. I was married with my girls, but I wasn't with my boys. So I was there. I had that situation. And with my youngest son, me and his father did live together. But 5 months after he was born, it was either jail or, had the body. So I got on down, so I ain't have to do either or. So he doesn't remember living with his father. His memory has always been, we've never been together. We were arguing or fighting or whatnot. Versus my girls, from the time they were born, daddy was there until daddy left. And then there was no more daddy. And then for my oldest daughter, it's been a hard adjustment.
That was me. My bad.
Okay. For my oldest daughter, it's been a hard adjustment. My youngest daughter, she's trying to adjust, but I do see the difference in her when she finally just was like, he's not doing this. He's not going to do this. I'm deuces. Oh, homeboy, I'll holler at you when I become great. Don't come around. That's how she is with her situation. And a lot of men don't understand. It doesn't matter whether it's a girl or a boy. They need their fathers.
Yep.
They need their mothers. There are certain things the mother can give that the father cannot. There are certain things the father can give that the mother cannot. We've already discussed this once before. So we need to understand that y'all need to be there. it's certain things that y'all need to do. So it needs to be an understanding. You gotta, for one, if the relationship is over with, let it be over with. If that person has moved out and they ain't coming back,
I failed on both. But go ahead.
yeah, we know.
We know.
Well,
But
they
if
don't. They don't know.
We gotta tell them.
But yeah, if the relationship is over with, let it be over with. Go ahead, take your time to cry, holler, scream, or whatever. But think of your child. And allow that person to, if that person wants to be a part, allow that person to be a part.
Yep.
Don't
Fully.
take that. Don't take that from your child, because you're not taking. The only time I say don't allow that person to be a part is if that person is going to be toxic to your child's futures and their well-being. If that person, because I allow my oldest son, father, to be around. He wanted to come around when he wanted to be around. At first, I was like, no, ain't having it. And the reason being was because I knew from how he turned out to be later on in the relationship that he was not going to be a consistent person in his life. He was going to be that. He was going to be a Pop-Tart dad. He was going to pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. I didn't want that for my child because I had that for myself. I didn't want that. I would prefer you not to be there at all and leave him alone instead of being a Pop-Tart dad. Without my permission, my mother let him, he somehow got in touch with somebody else in the family and allowed him to come around. I was pissed. I was like, you defied everything I said. I said for him not to come around because I know what's fixing to happen next. Now my son has actually met him and seen him. He's going to want him to be around, and he's not going to do it. And he doesn't know how to be a dad. I said, no matter what, he doesn't know how to be a dad. Period. Because he didn't have one, and he didn't take the time out to say, well, I'm not going to be like this man that raised me. He just decided, I'm just going to do what I see everybody else do. And because I wouldn't deal with him anymore, he felt like, okay, well, you don't deal with me. I just want to be around the child.
And that happens so much.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. Now, in regards to my youngest son, we just, it wasn't going to work. I was going to end up rocking an orange jumpsuit, and I didn't need to do that. So I had my children to think about. So I did that. I did think about that first. With my girls, with my ex-husband, again, I was going to rock that orange jumpsuit. So let that go too.
Which Q you want to weigh in, or you want me to roll to the next thing?
Yep, that's how fast that bullet went.
So unfortunately, with my son, I was in and out. When he was born, we weren't living together. She was still at home with her parents. So, there was no staying over there. Then when she moved out, it was just in and out. Not because I wanted to be in and out, but because
of the nature of the situation.
The nature of the situation had me in and out.
Did you not want to be in and out, or did you kind of just put things in motion to be in and out?
No, I didn't want to be in and out.
So if you didn't want to be in and out.
At the same time, if it's out, I can't force it to be in.
True.
Agreed.
True.
Agreed.
And I'm speaking more towards the relationship. If we out, I can't be in.
You sure can't?
But then we always get back in. In my head, I always wanted to make it work because I wanted to be a family. And then with my son's mother, and then with my daughter's mother, well, that was a dick wet situation that turned into a baby girl. So I wasn't there at all, but I'm there now. But we're not living together. So yeah.
But you're present.
Yes.
Like,
see, that's the difference.
You can basically go to the house and see her at any point. Like if you call and say, I want to stop by and see her.
Pick her up from the daycare.
Right.
And
you're there daily. Like you can just pick her up on a Tuesday just because it's Tuesday and take her to the park and then bring her back. If you got off work early, you can call and say, hey, I can pick her. So you're actually effectively co-parenting with her.
Yes. And with my son, it's just rocky.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I
Rocky
see
road.
in the difference in the two. With Q, one, there were never any feelings involved.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, there are feelings and hurt feelings still very much present.
Which you perfectly set up the next conversation.
Hold on.
Ready to go into.
Let me correct that. There wasn't any feelings involved with my daughter's mother at that time, but there were feelings lingering because me and her was in a 7-year relationship, broken up for 6, and then boom.
Y'all just kind of fell back.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't any feelings about y'all had already. It wasn't any hurt feelings. Let me say that there were no
recently hurt feelings.
Right.
Y'all had time. Both of you had time to heal, to get past whatever y'all had got past.
Somewhat.
Oh Lord, Q.
And y'all already had like a foundation because y'all had been around each other for a while. So if it was y'all were together 6 and off 7, so y'all were like in high school together with y'all knew each other like back from school.
Yeah, even then, we
so y'all basically had a friendship. Like, so it's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
right.
Which goes back into the failed natural order, because if you procreate with that person that's your friend, that you love, that you have feelings with, all in one place, even if you have hurt feelings and go through, at some point you can come back around and keep the main thing, which is the next subject, which is the child. You should be able to. But some people don't know how to leave well enough alone, or they get stuck in a space of constantly hating you. And it's a lot easier to end up in that space when it was kind of effed up from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you keep the main thing, which is the child, that means no matter how hurt you are, you keep the child's best interest at heart. You can hate that other person's guts for the time being because of what they did and how the relationship ended or whatever. But usually in the child's eyes, that parent is everything. And you should have to be strong enough to set aside your ego and your emotions toward that person and focus on what's best for the child, because the child didn't ask for any of it. So if the child want to see their daddy, and their daddy not a Pop-Tart dad like you brought up before, Rosa, and you know that they're not going to harm the child and that they'll be around and do the best that they can do, they're not a bad person, then you shouldn't on purpose withhold that other parent from having a relationship with their parent, even if you didn't work out, even if they hurt you, even if they're the scum of the earth or whatever. Because the way my marriage ended, it ended really, really bad. And even in the middle of that, like that first weekend after he split up, he was still able to see his kids. I have never withheld my children because I was angry at him. Now, there were a couple of situations that occurred in front of them and they didn't really feel comfortable going back over there. And I would say, well, they're not going to come this weekend because this kind of needs to simmer down. This was confusing for them. We need to just chill. They're not going to come. But I have never, in the 9 years that we have been divorced, I have never withheld my children from their other parent in spite of how I felt about him or whatever, because I don't want them to be emotionally damaged from my decision or lack thereof as much as I can, because it's already messed up. My youngest child doesn't remember me and my ex-husband being together. My youngest child is 11. He was 1 when we broke up, so he doesn't remember what it was like being with us. My oldest child was 5, and he remembers well enough. It's kind of fuzzy, but he remembers us being together as one unit. So his experience emotionally from that adjustment is a lot different than my younger one. And so I've always tried to do my best keeping my personal feelings from whatever has occurred during the marriage, outside of the marriage, while we're trying to co-parent, out of the way and not keep them away from their parent because of how I felt. Because if I did it based on how I felt, he would never see them. Back then, it don't really matter now because they're big, but he wouldn't have saw him at all for a while.
Well, see, with my girls, I didn't keep him, but at the same time with my girls, I had to keep him at a distance at certain times, because not so much of him, but the behaviors that he was exhibiting around them, you know? And it just got to the point where it wasn't okay, because he was introducing them to people that were not of the best character. Let's just say that. So, and then
women he was dating?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Was you protecting him, protecting your kids from the women he was dating, or were you just being that mother that he can't have your children around nobody else?
You can come and see your kids, but come and see your kids, or come and get your kids and go spend time with your kids. Your kids don't have to be around this particular person and be exposed to certain things that they shouldn't be exposed to. You can come get your kids. Go take them to the park. Go take them out to dinner. Take them to your mama's house and go spend time with your kids. Because for one, you with her all the time. You're not with your kids all the time. They need their time. And it wasn't because of that. It was after. And it wasn't anything before until after my kids started coming back saying certain things that were happening that they had never been exposed to. So I was like, no. My babies, first of all, they ain't going to stay in the trap house. That's where you stay at? Fine. That's where you want to stay. Mine ain't never been there. They ain't finna start. We're not finna do that. When I get introduced to you finally by accident, because he didn't want me to do it. We just kind of met up at the same place. You couldn't hold a conversation. Like an intelligent conversation. Then I find out, you don't have. It's a lot of things I found out. I'm not going to put out her business out there like that because I'm just not going to do it to you. Just be glad. But anyway, it was a lot of things I found out about her past and that was leaking over into the present that I just was not cool with at all. Like, this was the type of chick that me and him used to sit around and joke about or laugh about at the little things that they did and were doing. So for you to have this same type of woman around your daughters kind of confused me and had me second guessing your thoughts, your headspace. I didn't know what headspace he was in. So at that point, I was just like, hey, this ain't good. And this chick later on started doing shit to my kids that was just uncalled for. So, my daughter was in the hospital and you all on her social media page doing little shit. Childish and irrelevant. So yeah, you have to watch them when it comes to other people. And that would be the only time I would be like I said, I still didn't say you can't see your kids. I just said you can see your kids without her being involved. Point blank, period. Until they got to an age where they were able to defend and protect themselves and be able to say, no, we can't do that. No, we can't. Until then, no, you can't. I can't send them. When they got a little bit older, that's fine. They're able to say, no, hey, you can't do that. Or no, let me call my mama, tell her to come get me. That was just my thing. But like I said, they're at that age now. With my boys, I ain't had a problem with my youngest son's father. My oldest son, yeah, he dated some. That man dated some women. Now, mind you, the first woman that he dated, and me and her good friends to this day. Love me some, love you, love you, love. That is my girl. We good friends. He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand the fact that we and her became good friends. After to the point where when they broke up, she was scared to tell me because she thought I was going to take my baby away from her. I was like, girl, please, we ain't together because of him. He only get to see him because of you. Because I know my baby is safe when he went over there. So we would, I would, she was like, afterwards, she's his godmother. I made her his godmother because I didn't make anybody else his godmother prior to that. So she became his godmother. She ended up becoming the godmother to my other children. So this is, I would say sometimes the breakup brings great people into your life. You had to get to know their person because co-parenting just became a different thing on different levels for me. Each time, well, I won't say each time like that, but it was just different. It was different because I was dealing with different people, but at the same time, it just wasn't, yeah. Still ghetto as hell.
Q, have you had to, well, I know you've had to deal with another person with your son's mother and that didn't go well. Have you had to deal with another man in your daughter's life yet?
So, I have grown up a lot in this area because at first, before there was a Riley, my daughter, it was just Colson and his mother. And we always my thing was I didn't want him to have two fathers. That was always stuck in my head. Like, I want to be with you because when he wake up, I want him to run to the room and see daddy, not him run to the room and see another man. But now at this point, I don't give a damn. So it's kind of like, if she feels that this person is suitable for my son and her daughter. I mean, I'm not saying I want to meet the guy, because this could be just a temporary thing. But if you feel the need that this is him and you want to marry this guy, then by all means, I am happy for you. I'm happy for my son. And now let's all get together, because it takes a village to raise him.
That's true.
Agreed.
So I'm taking that same thinking with my daughter's mother. If she finds someone and he happens to be her best counterpart, her soulmate, or as we discussed in a couple episodes ago, then I'm all for that as well. Because why be bitter?
Agreed.
Agreed. There's no reason to be bitter.
And when that happens, it needs to be reversed as well. When I find,
of course,
someone,
of course,
that's what you would, what you hope for.
Yes.
For me, I have not had to experience multiple women being around my boys in that way. My ex-husband is married again, and that is basically the woman that he's been with since we have not been together. So, like our previous episode, the serial monogamist, he went from being married to me.
You went all the way back to episode 2.
Yeah. So he went from being married to me and with me for, I think, a total of 8 years to immediately being with her. And that's who he's still with. So since we overlapped, because he liked to do extracurriculars sometimes. I hope you're not doing it now, but we overlapped. Sports. Yeah, he overlapped a little bit. So we split in 2013 and they've been together since 2012. So that is really the only other woman that they know. So that's their second mom. So jokingly, we would say these are our kids. And and when we first split, I told him, so if you think you're going to be with this woman, since you're moving so fast, I need to meet her, because I need to know who's going to be in my children's life in case I run into them in the store and they're with this person. I need to put a face with a name. We don't have to be best friends, but if she's going to be around my child and she's going to be in the house with them, I need to put a face with a name. And so willingly, like that first or second week, he set it up. We met, we talked, and it's been that. We've had really good periods where we were extremely close, where she and I would talk on the phone more than me and my ex-husband would about the kids. If they were sick, she would say, well, what medicine do I need to go buy while they're here this weekend, or send it with you, or whatever, sending clothes, whatever. So, and she's been the only other mom that they have, and they call her mom. Like I said, my youngest son is 11. She's been in his life since she was 1. So she was potty training with me, helping him learn how to write. Like, she's been there through everything. So I've only had to deal with one other person, and she's their other mom. And like you say, Q, it takes a village. So her parents love my kids, buy them stuff, treat my kids just like their actual grandkids, and all of that is no different.
That's what we would hope to happen, because who wouldn't want a Lisa Bonet type shit?
Yeah, definitely.
But Lisa Bonet had her husband and ex. They best friends.
Yeah. Like if you were, I mean, y'all brother husbands, sister wives, I mean, y'all been in the same cracks and crevices at some point. So,
See, well, my youngest son, my oldest son was very much prevalent and but when I separated from him, he was in the beginning still bringing my son around, because his family treated my oldest son like he was family. They still treat him like he's family. Heck, even after we having the girls, they still treat the girls the same way too. So after a while, he was so bitter about the breakup. He was like, he would used to come and get both of them. Then he went to, we're just picking up my son because we're, my family needs to get adapted to their grandson. trying to be mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
And in actuality, it ended up hurting my son, because my oldest son, because he was like, "Mama, why can't I go? That's my grandmama too. That's my, that's my granddaddy. That's those my auntie, those my cousins. Where, why can't I go?"
I hate that. I hate when people do that.
And I tried to explain to him, the best I could, because I'm trying to explain this to a 6-year-old, to a 6-7-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, baby, I can't tell you. And then, when I did tell his mother about it, she was like, "Oh, hell no." She was like, "No, he didn't say that." She said, "That's my grandbaby. He was spending the night before you even got pregnant." And she put an end to that. So,
well, good you had backup on that, because I hear that a lot, and I really don't like that. If you take on a person, you taking on everything that comes with them, everything that comes out of them. So, like, that's what they're supposed to look like. So, if you're not willing and open to saying, "Hey, person, I want to do life with you, however long that lasts," whatever they bring with them, another child or whatever, don't start an energy or an environment and then you change it up because you mad at the adult. The child does not understand that, and it's just so unfair. And that's another hit, because clearly this other child may not have a relationship already with their biological father or mom that's not in the picture, and then you come in as a step parent and give them that, and then if it ends for you, then you take that away from them. That older child is just getting hit and hit and hit like multiple times, and they didn't do anything but be born.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it was.
That's not okay. I do not like that. And when we talk about the dating pool has pee in it and all of that, when I'm dating, if we get to that, if I don't feel like I can take on you and whatever else comes with you, your kids, including your stepchild, then I don't need to be considering dating you. And if I do feel like I could take all that on, then them are our kids.
Yeah.
It ain't no different, because I love you and I love everything that came out of you. That include them kids. If you spending money on them or you spent sperm on them, they ours now.
Q, I see how you meant that we could do some stuff, because I was gonna say something right then.
Y'all doing so good. I'm so proud. Now let me piss y'all off. Child support. Let's go.
Hey, damn it, we did. I just called them today. I was on the phone with them this morning.
Q rolled his eyes all the way up to the Lord, to all the angels, back to earth and around again.
Just luckily, thus far, I'm not on that.
Okay.
And I'm going to knock on this desk, which is wood, that I do not be on that.
Well, I can honestly say that with my first two, for my boys, I did not put them on child support. The oldest one in the state, of course, put him on child support. And the youngest boy, his dad was called himself listening to his sister, who told him, "Oh, you don't got to worry about it. You ain't gonna pay number about $500-$600 a month. That ain't nothing. Go ahead and go and put yourself on child support. That way she can't do nothing. She can't do this and she can't do that." Because he was telling them that it was me when it was actually him being crazy. So he goes to put himself on child support, and they made his ass pay $1,400 a month. He was mad. He was highly upset. He was pissed. I was like, "Sir, all I was asking was you to pay the daycare," which was like $75 a week at that time.
Right. Like I rather just sit down and what you need.
Thank you.
I would rather do that. That's what I prefer too, Q. In my story, it did not go like that. Like I would have preferred for it to be that way, because I was married to you, so you know how much daycare costs. You know how much they eat. You know what is required to take care of them. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about them. So when he left, I was like, "Hey, I can pay my bills. I don't need you to pay my bills. I just need you to pay daycare for them so that I can go to work to pay my bills. I need somebody to keep them. They need to stay in daycare so that I can work, and it's fine. Matter of fact, you can keep doing what we were doing when you were in the house with me. You can go up to the daycare and pay them directly, because I didn't change any of that. You know, he picked up and left. My routine basically stayed the same. You don't even have to give me the money in my hand. You could take it up to the daycare and pay it yourself." At the time, I had a 5-year-old who was going for aftercare and had a 1-year-old that was there full time. So daycare a month was almost $600. just pay daycare, half on the 400 something, just help me cover daycare costs. He refused and was like, I can only give you $80 a week. I looked at him like, $80 a week? Okay, cool. You say you can do that, well, let's do your $80 a week. He wasn't consistent with that. And I wouldn't know that I wouldn't get the $80 that week until the day I was expecting to have the $80. And this went back and forth for almost a year. Then I was like, I can't afford to keep our youngest child in daycare. What are you going to do about it? He was in school to be a truck driver at the time. He was like, the only thing I can do is keep him during the week and you have him on the weekend. And I was willing to do that because I was showing him I wasn't giving him a hard time. I really couldn't afford it. So I had to let my baby go and stay with his dad during the week. And he was like 2 by then because I couldn't afford to keep him. So I would have Malachi out during the week and then Malachi would go on the weekends and then I would have Micah on the weekends and not during the week. And we did that for a while. And then I got sick of it because all of a sudden, once he got done with church driving school, he didn't start paying more. It was still inconsistent, still $80 a week. But now I know you got a job and you working because I'm watching y'all elevate, get cars, move out y'all apartment, got a big old 5-bedroom house, and I'm still getting $80 a week. And I got $600 a month daycare and all my other bills. So I broke down and I finally went to the court. And the judge ruled and said, okay, Miss Walker, you're going to get $1,300 a month. And they were mad. And now he want to say, we should have sat down and talked about this. I tried. You said you could only pay me $80 a week. And you weren't even consistent with that. But you want me to drown? I didn't make these kids by myself.
I'm just trying to figure out where they get these figures from.
Oh, it's according to how much each person. They have a worksheet. It's online. You can actually go online and pull it
plug it in yourself,
and they take her income, your income, how many
days you have,
how many days you have the child, how many days she has the child,
their ages,
the ages. They consider in insurance. They consider in other children. It's a lot of factors to it. It's a lot of factors to it. Now, when just like you with my ex-husband, when he left, I was just I didn't before he left. Well, in that stage of she needs to put him on child support. Like, we're married, so that was only because I was getting care. I was getting the state health care for the kids. So when we went to court, I told the judge at the time he wasn't working, but he was living in my house. And he was taking care of the kids while I worked and went to school. So he would have the kids the majority of the time at my house. He made sure their homework got done. He made sure they got fed. He made sure everything got done around the house. Okay. I had no problem with it. But we were not together. So he, to me, was helping me. I didn't have to pay for childcare. I didn't have to worry about who was watching the kids. They knew they were safe. I knew they were getting their homework done. I was able to work and go to school. So when we went to court, that's what I told the judge. I was like, I don't see any point in putting him on child support. He doesn't have a job right now. I said, but he's assisting me by allowing me to be able to grow and prosper. And I said, so with that, I don't feel like I need to put him on child support. And the judge was like, man, you know what? We don't have too many women coming here and do this. She said, y'all are married. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, but we're separated, but he's in my home. And she was like, okay. So what she did was she set the order at 0. She said, just in case anything changes, I can come back without having to do the whole process over again. I can just come back and ask for a modification. I said, okay. That Negro left a month later. A month later, he walked his ass out and didn't do nothing else. Even with that, I still tried to give him ample opportunity to assist. I asked for $50 a week. And if he would just, me and my youngest son's father were alternating weeks in taking them to school because they went to school all the way downtown. I stayed in East Memphis. So he was helping me do that. He'd take them 1 week, but each day my mother or myself went and picked them up. So I asked, can you drop them off 1 week? We'll do this out of 3 weeks. You taking them based out of 1 month, you're taking them 1 week of school and paying $50 for aftercare. I gotta know. And he ain't had no damn job. So it wasn't like he was doing, it would have took him out of the way or anything like that. You ain't got nowhere to go. He came up with every excuse until he just came up with so many excuses. And then he started having other kids. And I was like, hold up, let me hurry up and get my bid in before they do. Because I ain't going to be the last person on the totem pole. Even though my 2 gets the same amount that his oldest and his other child gets. I get the same amount they get for 1, I get for 2. And because of that, that's another thing, Q. Just because it's whoever gets down there first. It's whoever gets down there first who gets the bulk of the money.
I'm just saying, the nigga gotta live too.
I get that. But if that's the case, stop popping babies up in
the
folks.
Failed natural and unnatural order, because the thing is about men, if they don't pay for it, it's not a priority.
True.
And so if you can go and live your life and start your life and do all of that, but do not forget what's yours, because it's not in your face. And if you're not paying for it, you're not going to think about it and be accountable to it. So you mean to tell me just because you're not with their mother and you don't live in their house anymore, none of your money should come back to those kids? They don't need your support?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
he got to live too, but you should think about
He needs to think about
that. And then when he moves on, he needs to include those kids that he don't live with in his lifestyle. Don't live above your means. Don't walk away and start a whole new situation and a whole new family and disregard your other kids.
Let me ask you something.
That, but not every situation is that situation.
You say he gotta live. What about her?
Don't they mama gotta live too?
Because she got to take care of him. She don't get to stop being a parent.
Then they need to get back together then.
No. They don't. They don't, because hell will have frozen over.
They don't have to get back together again. If he can't afford to pay what the court is going to rule, then willingly make an agreement and stand on that. Because I can speak for me personally, and Rosa has said the same thing. We were married to these men and in the house, and it took me 1.5 years to even go down there. I kept working with her to say, well, what can you give me and stand on? Whatever you can give me and stand on, and really do that every week, or communicate. If you can't, I will make it work with what you really say that you can do, meaning this is what you really can do. If you're giving me your best and you're being consistent with that, I will take that. But what you're not going to do is say you can pay me this, and then you don't communicate with me, and then I don't have it, and then I got to turn around and figure it out, and then you can go and not be accountable and live scot-free. That's not fair to me, trying to live my life outside of the child too. So you mean to tell me you could say, I ain't got it this week and it's going to be okay, but if I say I ain't got it this week, I still got to figure it out.
Thank you. That's
because
the whole
point.
Me. Because see, at the end of the day, my
child
daughter
support makes it fair financially.
At the end of the day, I told him too. I said, you get the opportunity to walk away. You get the opportunity to walk away, and you feel like you get to walk away scot-free with nothing. Whereas I have to make a way, even when there is no way.
Yep.
I have to do things that...
I'm just going to flip this TV to Netflix because I'm just out of this conversation. Go ahead.
No, you're not. No, we really want... We hear your opinion. We're not saying your opinion is wrong and your point of view is wrong. You're blessed. You're not even on child support. And you got 2 kids and 2 baby mamas. You are super blessed. You should shout. You should shout.
Well, if I don't get a situation going with the one mother... because I ain't trying to say shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
I might be.
Does she communicate with you at all? Like if you try to send her something for him?
We're not even there yet.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's scary. I know that's scary for you. You like, is this the day they coming for me?
We're not even there yet. I can't even see my little man. The new dude sees more of him than I do. So
I already told you, you can fight for you got a right to see your son. Go down there and put yourself on child support and get your visitation. You can do that.
The fuck?
You got to put hold on. You don't have to understand this too. You don't have to put yourself on child support to get visitation.
Oh. Well, there you go. Something else.
Yeah,
if
I
you
heard
want to
that.
see Coasting, you can see
go
that.
down. You can go down there
You
and put
ain't
yourself
working
on
hard
dissertation.
enough.
It's $75.
I'm about to bleep that name out. We dropping names while you're putting it
You
out there
already
for
said
me.
it. You had already said his name earlier. You had already said his name. That's why I didn't say your daughter name, and then you said it. That's why I was like your daughter, your son, but you dropped both of their names when you were talking.
Yeah, I'm having issues with one or the other with seeing my child. Which
can
one
fix
you
that.
can find out next?
You can fix that because
Like I said, you can
we
go
got
down
some more to talk about, but we ain't gonna make it to it because this next subject gonna be heavy too.
But
This
hold
gonna
on,
have to be a
before
part two.
Before we get through.
We can go on to making decisions, and then we'll save the rest for next week. Go ahead.
Making decisions is gonna be almost longer than child support because
We've been doing good.
Baby.
We've been doing good by staying underneath an hour. We can go ahead. Go ahead.
Cause what's the hour? Y'all, we sorry, y'all. We having this discussion while we talking to y'all. The hour what 9:40?
But yeah, you get behind the scenes. The hour's up in 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Making decisions. So do you feel like
Behind
you
the
need to
scenes
run
right there, folks.
right? Do you feel like you need to run every decision for the child by the other parent, or does it naturally default to the primary parent, the parent that the child lives with, or how does that work? Because I tried to include my son's dad in decision making initially, but he wasn't going to be a part of making sure whatever decision I made for the kid is done all the way out. It was going to fall on me anyway. So I quit including him and I just make the move and you either ride with it or you don't. Because when I tried to include you, you didn't really team up with me. It still fell on me. So why am I going to ask you your opinion on something that you're not going to see all the way through?
That's
so
true.
I quit. Like I did it for like the first 2 years.
Okay, well, let me get an example.
So about where they were going to go to school.
That's a very good
where they're going to go to
decision
school
as a team.
If you're not making any effort to pick them up or drop them off, I'm not going to put them in a school that's conveniently close to you because you're not going to pick them up or drop them off. I'm going to put them at a school that's conveniently close to me or fits my educational purposes of what I think, because I'm the one doing homework. I'm the one got the relationship with the teachers. I'm the one that's dropping them off and picking them up or setting up those arrangements. If you're not actively involved with picking up and dropping them off on a regular basis, then where you live and how you feel about the school really doesn't matter because you're not invested in that. So you're just going to have to trust me and roll with it. Period. Not gonna ask you what school you want them to go to because you don't know their teachers or what they're doing or what they need academically or not either way, and you're not gonna pick them up or drop them off. He can't now because of the nature of his work because he's not here. He drives trucks during the week, but when he was in the city, he still wasn't picking them up and dropping them off on a regular basis.
Well, that's a very good example. What I had in my head was, why are we taking baby pictures and she's not very attentive.
I ain't talking about that petty ass bullshit. No, I'm talking about some real shit. No.
That's real?
Wait, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Because I had to go out there and it was a disaster.
Wait a minute.
It was a disaster and I said, don't do this. But,
Okay, well, hold on.
Just like you said, hold on, just like you said.
Now, if she asks you for money on the pictures.
Just like, nope, not even that. Just like you said, everything always defaults to the person who primarily, what's the word? Because I need some pussy again. Primarily parents or has the child all the time.
You were doing so good. Did you hear that, Rose?
Yep.
He's stuttering because he needs some pussy again. Well, damn it, I should sound like fucking radio. I should sound like radio over here.
It always defaults. So it's kind of like no matter what the situation is,
not trying to offend nobody.
I need to practice making some kids to co-parent with.
No say so.
Not true.
No, that's not true. Now, see, hold on. Let me say this. I have given the same opportunities to give. Can you what you want to do, how you want to do it. But the moment I said they had to involve themselves, it was a problem. Now, except for, like I said, my youngest son's father, he was he's present. We're gonna talk about some other that goes. Even though you can be present and still be detrimental to your child. Let's understand that too.
Yeah. My God.
But
Fire! You can be present and still detrimental to your child. One more time. Fire!
You can be present and still be detrimental to your child.
Nothing.
No.
Hold on.
You're gonna have some pussy later. Not for me, but you're gonna have some.
Or me. I can't get no for me.
Clear
No
it
way.
up because I was
for
ready.
me.
Like, send me your location.
Dang, we almost made it through this episode without clowning.
Almost. Damn it.
Oopsies. Feeling something.
Well,
It
go
was
ahead.
It was wet when you're feeling it.
I was gonna go back to when you were talking about with having some kids and them other folks' kids, and I was like them swallowed kids and everything. So I was going through all of that.
Baby, I played daycare. He dropped them kids off. He ain't got to pick them up.
No, no.
I miss baby mama and I ain't got no
Oh
kids.
my God, Rosa, what was you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, like, with my youngest son's father, he would literally come all the way from, he'd take a 45-minute drive in the morning to pick up my son to take him to school, just so he can be, like you said, he wanted to be there to say, give him his pep talk in the morning, say certain things, be there for him. And then, like I said, he would take my kids downtown, all of them, drop them off. He give them a pep talk in the morning, same thing. So and then have to drive all the way back to Whitehaven to where he was working at, or he was working at the Bartlett location. So he was having to drive all the way back to Bartlett. So he's passing his job to come all the way to East Memphis to pick up his son, to take him 5 minutes down the road to where he was going to school at one point, and then taking him 20 more minutes to the school that was downtown, and then coming all the way back to go back to Bartlett. That was somebody that was being very much present and assisting. That's when we say, and that was not a decision I made for him. That was not a decision he made. We knew where he wanted his child to go to school at. He wanted his child, so he helped out. He agreed.
Boom.
He didn't have to. He did that 1 week. I did it 1 week. So that was very much a co-parenting decision that we made when it came to making decisions. Now, when we say making decisions, I think of making the bigger decisions for the kids. If I say the child is on punishment at my house for the week, that means
that's a whole other subject. That's down there. My house, your house, our child.
I'm saying if the rule is at my house, I feel like the rule, we need to agree upon the rules so that the rules will be the same, so that there will be no differences. But you can't, if I say he can't do something, you can't turn back around and let him do it. You know what I'm saying? Because now he knows he can play us.
Right? We got to be consistent across the board.
Yeah.
I got a story about that, and then we gonna say the rest of these juicy subjects because we got step parents to talk about, new relationships, other siblings that's not yours, and extracurricular activities. Who coming to the birthday party? Who coming to the basketball game? We got to get to all that. We got so we got to make this 2-part. But real quick, with what Rosa just said about collectively having rules and ways you discipline the child that works at both houses, because kids are really smart and they'll play one parent against the other if they know they can get away with one thing in one house and not another. My youngest child, Micah, did something at school and he got in trouble. His dad was on the road, so he called his other wife, and me and her went up to the school, and me and her tag team Micah together in the bathroom. And so we were standing outside the school in the parking lot talking, and my oldest son was leaving lunch and walking with his class, and he thought he saw a ghost. He froze up so bad in that line with his eyes big because he saw both of us standing in the parking lot. We looked at him. I said, "You ain't in trouble. We not even here about you. Keep going on about your day." And he turned and walked away, because that's the power of when you guys get together for the unity of the child and the rules apply across the board. When the rules apply and you have the same values at both places, they know that they can't get away with nothing, and they know either household can roll up on you together or separately to handle what needs to be handled. And we didn't have no problems out of Micah the rest of the school year, because he said, "Oh, no. My mama and my stepmama rolled up here on me together? Oh, no." And it was what it was. And when we checked in, they called me Mrs. Stewart. I said, that's Mrs. Stewart. I'm Miss Walker. That's her last name. That ain't my last name no more.
No more.
And we all just laughed and we was like, we here to work, but nah, that's Miss Stewart. I'm Miss Walker. Nah, let's clear that up. So when you're able to do that, it really, really makes a better environment for the child, especially, and we can get it done. But yeah, so we're gonna have to pause on co-parenting because we all co-parenting and we all at different stages of it with different stories, and like I said, we still got some more juicy things to get into when it comes to this. So we're gonna have to maybe drop this as a bonus later in the week or something. We'll figure it out. But this part 1 and part 2 coming when it comes.
I should say, it's gonna be just a part 1.
Just a part 1 and part 2 will come out
part next week
as our episodes drop normally. Yeah,
I think we just have it next week.
Okay, we'll roll it again. We're rolling in next week. We're gonna have to record again on Tuesday because Monday is Memorial Day, and I ain't talking to y'all on Memorial Day.
Okay,
I ain't gonna talk to myself. I ain't gonna talk to myself on Memorial Day.
All right,
be talking to the mic. All right, y'all.
One day.
This has been episode 14.
One day I'll be able to sing into that mic.
Yes. Woo, woo, woo. Episode 14. We just talking.
It doesn't have to be fleshy. You could just get you one of them rubber kind.
Oh my God!
I don't need no practice.
Get the. Have you gotten one that's made the crystal? It's a crystal, so it's real hard.
I've seen those.
One of those. I'm trying to end this, and y'all just distracted me. Y'all know it don't take much. I see one penis and I'm gone. This has been part 1 of episode 14. Yours, mine, and ours. The highs and lows of co-parenting. We've been high and low on this episode, and we got to go higher and lower on part 2. Y'all stay tuned for that. We appreciate y'all listening and hanging with us for 14 episodes. We really rolling. We made it. We doing it. We ain't gonna stop. But in the meantime,
at all,
catch us on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, in the DMs, anywhere. Text message if you got the number. Well, don't get in rows of DMs, but wherever you want to communicate, hit us up. We love when y'all comment. We love when y'all interact with us on the post and say your favorite parts. Do more of that. It's a lot of y'all that's listening and watching and y'all don't say anything. Drop us a comment. We want to know what you think. What was your favorite part? Talk to us. Y'all see we like to talk back. Hell, please. We appreciate y'all so much. We see y'all next time.
Oh, we just talking?
Ish. Not just another podcast.
Not just another podcast. She ended that shit. I ain't got shit else to say.
Just another podcast.